just because I scolded the nanny a few times during the day. That night, she stuffed my towel into the toilet. She even washed my cup with filthy mop water. My daughter saw all of this, but under the nanny's intimidation, she could only endure it in silence, completely unaware. I still trusted the nanny deeply. I even arranged for her to apply skincare to my daughter every day. Otherwise, my daughter would break out in severe allergies, which could be life-threatening. I had no idea this decision would almost kill my daughter, because that very night, the nanny used up the entire skincare product. A few days earlier, my mother-in-law felt sorry we were too busy to watch the child, so she found a nanny from rural relatives, but when my husband saw her, he was instantly shocked. Before I could speak, he dragged the nanny into a room in panic. It turned out the nanny was actually my husband's wife, back. Then her family spent everything to support his education. They even held a wedding banquet and promised to stay loyal for life. Now that he had risen in status and married wealthy me, he wanted to erase the past completely. How could the nanny accept that? She pulled out a written guarantee my husband had signed years ago. She said if her family had not paid for his education, he would never have what he has today. So everything he owned now had to be split with her. Otherwise, she would expose his lies. Looking at that guarantee, my husband completely collapsed. Left with no choice, he agreed to collude with the nanny to seize all my family assets. But I never expected the nanny to be so vicious. When she heard me talking about work at dinner, she secretly spat into my food. When feeding egg custard, she tasted it with her mouth. She had no basic sense of hygiene at all. When I got angry, my husband unusually stood up to defend her. Encouraged by this, the nanny forced my daughter to eat. She even threatened that if she did not eat, her parents would abandon her. My daughter had long been humiliated by her. She was too afraid to eat anything she made. Seeing this, the nanny even tried to hit her, rushed to stop her. The nanny argued stubbornly, saying this was how kids were raised in the countryside, that children would not listen without being beaten. I told her to shut up, paid her to be a nanny, not to beat my child or talk back to me, and I told her to pack up and leave immediately. At that moment, my husband rushed out to smooth things over. He said it was her first time in the city, and everything she did was for the child's good. Just then an emergency came up at the company, so I hurried back with my husband to handle it. I had no idea this gave the nanny a chance for revenge. As soon as we left, she acted like the mistress of the house and ordered my daughter to do chores after eating and drinking her fill. She stuffed my towel into the toilet. She used my cup to rinse a dirty mop. She even used an entire tube of my daughter's skincare product early the next morning while we were away on business. The nanny secretly wore my pajamas, used my cosmetics, and even brought her rural sisters into the mansion. They wore my clothes and enjoyed a life of luxury. At that moment, my daughter ran to beg her for medicine. The nanny not only refused, she even said my daughter was born of a wild woman. My daughter burst into tears and immediately called me for help. The moment I heard her voice, I rushed home, but my husband was afraid the truth would come out, so he tried to stop me. I still sensed something was wrong. At the same time, my daughter accidentally overheard the nanny plotting to transfer our assets. She tried to tell me the truth, but the nanny had her restrained. What the nanny did not realize was that her actions were about to bring irreversible consequences, yet she was